4 entries this time, let's start. The first challenge was to watch an anime with the same director as one of my favorite anime, for which I picked Heike Monogatari. So, this is Naoka Yamada's directorial debut at Sayonara after leaving KyoAni a couple years ago. It's actually based on an old epic tale about the Genpei War and the Taira clan's struggle to maintain influence. This led to the establishment of the first shogunate in Japan, but just look the rest of it up if you want to know. Now, I don't know if it's the influence of the studio, but I was tunnel visioning hard on the directorial choices throughout the show. It just feels like Yamada isn't over KyoAni, as seen by the fact that Kensuke Ushio, who composed the music for A Silent Voice, also did the music for this show. It sounds the exact same for the most part, which just bugs me in the wrong way, as it doesn't fit the show in the slightest bit. The 11-episode runtime of the show doesn't benefit the plot at all either, even though most big events are covered accurately as far as I know. While it does contain an interesting overarching epic aspect to it, I just can't help but nitpick at these problems. Science Saru is such a hit and miss studio, and this just kinda sits in the middle. I hope the rumors about bad working conditions aren't true, and I will say I truly miss Yamada's presence in KyoAni, but enough gloominess, let's move on. The second challenge was to watch an anime with a total duration of 2 hours or more, for which I picked Shirobako Movie. So, this was an unexpected movie 2 years ago to follow up my favorite anime of all time, Shirobako. In this film, our crew gets back to similar antics as in the show, struggling to put up something before the deadline. I think overall the film has a good thing going for itself, which just makes me wonder what the fuck was going on in the first third or so of the movie. The tone was completely different from the other 2/3, with extremely unnatural and uncomfortable dialogue, and the apparent ridiculing of the anime industry as a whole in a bit of a self-aware manner. You could just cut that part out altogether and have a great end result, but alas, it does retell the events after the show ended up until now, 4 years later, which sort of does make it necessary. I would make a whole video about Shirobako whenever I get the chance to rewatch it, to confirm if it still stands as my favorite, but for now, this movie was still a decently nice blast to the past. The third challenge was to watch an anime tagged as shonen, for which I picked Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei. And also the fourth challenge was to watch an anime with a Japanese honorific in the main title, for which I picked Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei Special. This anime is a showcase of ridiculous comedy and Akiyuki Shimbo's signature meta twist on the adaptation. Once again, I really hate explaining comedy, so I won't really do that, but the show is quite funny most of the time. Sometimes the jokes run for way too long in individual episodes and get old by the end, but the overall approach seems to be relatability and despair, as the title says. While most of the show is quite good, the last few episodes have me scratching my head as to what kind of decisions led to their creation, and if it was in the manga originally. And just quickly about the special, I guess I was supposed to watch it after the final season, but the format was the exact same as season 1, so I wasn't spoiled or anything like that. Overall, decent enough comedy. I might check out the later seasons at some point. Alright, see you all in the next episode.